It is pointless to resist.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Sarlacc Digest, a podcast bringing you line talk and digesting Star Wars topics over 1,000 years. This is episode 272, being recorded on August 14th, 2024. I'm your host, Darth Moocher. Scott Solo is here.
What's up, nerds?
The return of Grand Admiral Franz.
Wow.
He left us. He left us. I have to make sure that it was not our fault.
No hurt feelings, guys. I just needed a break from you. It wasn't you, it was me.
Oh, wow. So he's a great Grand Admiral. He's all like white in his beard. He's now a great Grand Admiral.
Right. Oh, dude, I was busy as hell, dude. I couldn't get out of all that. We were invaded by our British family, and we're all sorry to miss. Glad to be back.
All good. Well, you're here for the actual official announcements. So we're here all to break it down and all that stuff. Maybe Ernie will join us. Who knows? He's celebrating his 100th episode over there, but they're having some fun. So we'll pick up the slack over here and get all the greatest Star Wars news and announcements and rumors and theories all over. So before we get into all that, kick it over to Scott to shout out our Shadow Council and everyone who's being digested in the pit.
It's me. It's my turn. Okay.
And go.
All right, so special shout out to our Shadow Council. That is AJ from the Forbidden Panel, Brandon and Anya Epler, Brian C, Cliff, Commander Cook, Moocher's sound effects. I don't know what's going on, but we're me. Was it? Okay. The great Grand Admiral of Franz is.
I'm professional.
Oh man,
Didn't
I
realize
tell
the
you,
volume was on. You know when that happens? Just tried.
I swear, it was an
It's Game
accident.
of Thrones.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I
Oh,
swear
boy.
that's what that was.
Cliff, Commander Cook, Crystal E, Dennis McGrath, Don the Dad Dorn, Eric Grubb, who was just in Scotland and Ireland and London. He did a full trip over there and had a lot of fun, and I'm very envious, but yeah, whatever. Whatever, Eric Grubb. Flavy Davey, formerly of the Nerds with Attitude podcast, Gavin Connor from the Holy Hour All Cure podcast, Justin the Vanilla Thunder, Luke, a.k.a. LOB Collects, Mervine Bolanos, Matt Logic, Muftaka's back, Nicholas Schaefer, Obi-Sean Kenobi. I've got to do it like that every time. Papa Schmitty, Ryan, and the Star Joe's podcast. If you want to donate, just scan that QR code right there. And please, it really does help us out. Maybe with your help, we can send Grand Admiral Franz to training to figure out how to turn the volume down on his phone.
I was watching the trailer for Skeleton Crew. I just didn't realize it was hit play. I thought it was paused.
Oh, likely
Nice.
story. We've also got Junobi in the chat. What's up, Junobi?
What's up, Julie?
We've got Gordon Skalski, Rhino Hobbies, Don the Dad Dorn, Gavin Connor, Santo 1414, and Hell Runner Base. What is up, everybody? So drop a note in there and we'll say hi.
Absolutely. And I'm curious to see where the pit lies in everything that was dropped this weekend over on at the D3 the Disney Expo that wrapped up Sunday. And as promised, we got a slew of things. Thank you to Julie for we lost Scott and Scott's back. Thank you for Julie for hitting us up at Discord, because all the leaked trailers and everything that were over there, and I got to see them all and break it down. And we took some screenshots before they were taken down. So we're going to get into that. But guys, besides the rest of this year, what? Yes, Scott.
I was going to say, you know what we didn't get at D23? Freaking Star Speeder 3000s.
Yeah. Well, people got it. Have you seen eBay?
Yes. $2,000 and some of those.
Yeah, crazy.
All right,
with bids.
I digress.
With bids.
No, that is a sold price. $2,000.
Tune into our toy chest, I'm sure, on Monday. Well, I'm sure that we will break it down. Yeah, that's it. Wow. But I think what the important part out of D23 that was coming out that we got and we're kind of waiting for, right? We got the rest of this year. What was Skeleton Crew coming out on December 3rd, okay, with a 2-episode premiere. We're kind of getting a 2005 and 2006 shaping up of what's coming out for Star Wars, right? So we know now that officially the Mandalorian and Grogu movie is going to be the next theatrical release. May 22nd, 2026. It's 100% official. They announced it. They gave us a teaser, which we got some little shots in there. Everybody who was there at D23 got treated to this crazy footage, because they're filming it now, and what they gave us was like, oh, all right, there was some actually like some
solid effects.
Yeah, like solid shots, right? I'm going to come back to that real fast, but then just to shape up 2025, of course, Andor season 2 didn't have a date, but it said 2025. And there is room, and now the speculation is there's room for something else to carry over to the Mando Grogu movie. And the highly speculation is an Ahsoka season 2.
You would think.
Because Dave Filoni isn't doing anything other than producing the Mando Grogu movie. He could be doing something with Ahsoka. So, because other than that, 2025, we only see Andor season 2. That's it. As far as officially, right? So,
I mean, that might not be bad to get a little break, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, we always said like 2025 was almost like a reset, and then Dave Filoni came out in D23 and said, "All right, here we're excited to officially kick off Star Wars returning to the movie, to the theaters." And then kicking it off with Mando Grogu, and then going off from there. There was no news of anything else. There was no slate. There was no future projects, just ones that were in development. You know what I mean?
Nothing animated. Nothing animated announced, and there's
No.
we were kind
No.
of speculating that we might get some kind of hint about that, but nothing.
I feel like the animated stuff kind of gets snuck on us a lot of times, right? Like it could kind of
Just
boom, here
drop.
it is. It's gonna happen this month, and then
Yeah.
100%, dude.
I mean,
just hit us all of a sudden. It's all done, and we didn't even know what was
Tales,
happening.
Tales of the Jedi and the Bad Batch happened. We had fair warning that both of those were going to hit.
We didn't, not
ones that-
did the first Bad Batch. Did we know?
Yeah, it was in the slate. It was in the slate. The
It was in
slate,
yeah. But I feel like Tales was dropped, but then like because it was at Celebration when they dropped it, and then it was released like 3 months later. Like it was kind of like boom, 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 and then especially with Bad Batch season 2, like season 2 is coming, and it's coming in.
It's like not a lot of notice on a further slate or anything.
Yeah,
just like here it is.
It's probably the way they produce it in production wise. So again, that could be that area in 2025, and in between Andor and Mando. I'm foreseeing a whole year of like there's nothing there. If Andor comes in summertime, and then you have Mando the next summer, and then there's a whole year in between there. So an Ahsoka season 2 to set it up, or to kind of kick it off, or immediately after, or a new animated.
That just depends
series.
on the need of the movie. Where's the movie take place? During Ahsoka, after Ahsoka, before Ahsoka? That's what it depends on.
Yeah. So with what we saw,
I'm assuming he's the bad guy, so it must be post Ahsoka 1, and I guess so. It depends on when those two things take place. That's all.
Right? Yeah. No. Yeah. The footage that we saw,
I was about to say with Diablo cooling there with what we've got Celebration Japan coming in 2025 also.
There's that too. Celebration Japan. That's right. And welcome Diablo cooling. The Mando, what we saw kind of looked like it was like a direct continuation of season 3, picking it off into something they're doing now. This would be cool if they did a whole 2-hour adventure, but at the end, of course, it has the Thrawn threat, right, or something that we saw in Ahsoka season 1, right? But again, you're right. Like, how would they can't just rush Ahsoka in there?
I thought the movie was supposed to wrap it all up.
No, that's Dave Filoni's
movie. That's the Heir to the Empire movie.
Right. This is the Favreau movie of, like I said, this seems to me just to be like a one-off adventure to kind of wrap up their storyline and then get thrust back into what Ahsoka's doing, or season 4 of Mando, or whatever it is. But I think it was important for them to get it to the big screen again, even though Disney Plus and as of now is in the black. Like it took them 5 years or whatever it is to actually like, hey, we're profitable. And again, I'm not saying that as a Star Wars thing. I'm saying as a whole, Disney as a whole, Disney Plus is actually profitable at this point. So they're going to either keep going, or they're going to make the shift to, here's what Disney does, right? This pendulum, right? Oh, let's make the shift to theaters. Disney Plus drowns. You know what I mean? It's like, what? It's always,
I'd love for the final shot and Mando Grogu to be the Chimera flying in over Navarro or something like that. Mando chilling out with his new Razor Crest, and he's got his hot rod on the other side of the N1. He's just sitting there, and here comes a Chimera, and all hell breaks loose.
So we got some shots, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead and pull those up real fast of the Mando, just to kind of give our pit here some shots of what that leaked footage was. And there's another one here too, that the Razor Crest is officially back.
Yes.
So is Zeb. Oh no. So this is cool, man. Like, more remnants of the Empire. They're on we got some shots of the snowtroopers and AT-ATs, Mando and Grogu driving the AT-RT. Just some really cool finished CG shots, man. And I was so happy to have Grogu back, and it was just so fun to see him back. I don't know why.
It's funny because that screenshot right there, it was such an action-packed moment. I couldn't get a crisp shot of him.
Yeah.
It's got all this motion blur on it. But the next slide is the one that really threw me for a loop. And I was not expecting to see Zeb and a Razor Crest in the same shot. I mean,
it's back. Wow. the Razor Crest is back, I know Chris might be disappointed because I know I mean, we're not saying that. I mean, Zeb is piloting it, so obviously it might not be Mando's at this point. He might go, hey, I like my little racer.
It'll obviously be Mando's, or unless Zeb just has one and Mando's just like, oh man, I can't believe you have one.
Yeah, like, hey, can I get this? Can I take this off your hands?
You know, at the end of season 3, he said that, you know, he would do jobs for the New Republic, you know, bringing in Imperial remnants or doing whatever. He's going to be very selective of the work that he brings in. And I could absolutely see, you know, with word out there of him hunting for another Razor Crest,
right?
Absolutely see the Republic paying him in a Razor Crest for a job that he has to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm in, man.
Because his bounties are piling up. But we got Matt Logic checking in just real fast. I'm sorry, Scott. Let me just check in. Rick Jones checking in. Tales from the Bounty Hunter. Surprise drop. Let's go. Let's do it. We got Dr. Brantley. I love Snowtroopers. Yeah, I was thrilled to see the Snowtroopers up there. Also, Rick Jones. We'll get into this. The animation studio is hiring, so something is happening. Absolutely. They've already announced a new animated series or show that's coming.
Well, it wasn't so much announced. It was the Asajj actress said there's more to come.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? But they also did say an animated series is coming. They just didn't say what it was. And you're right. The Asajj actress, the voice actress, was like, there's so much more Asajj coming. And then, of course, the animation studio's hiring to bring more. So that's cool. Shadows Knows Network. What's going on to the best Star Wars show on the planet and the galaxy? If I will add that. Thank you so much. And then Alexander Storm also checking in.
Alex?
Sarlacc brothers, how you guys? So Scott,
these three shots right here, it cracked me up because I didn't see Grogu with the Anzalians until I watched it a third time and stuck through the end of and that's whenever I saw him. But I love the fact that it's a mouse droid gone rogue shooting stormtroopers and snowtroopers, and those three are actually piloting the mouse droid. That to me is, at least that's the way it looks, right? Right. Controls of something, and you've got this mouse droid going around shooting stormtroopers.
I love it.
Oh, this is brilliant.
That's comedy 101 for Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When it's not blatant comedy, but it's funny that it's happening. That's happening. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I thought that shot was cool. I don't know. I was hyped for it. Like the Mando grow. Okay, let's go. Right. Again, like Chris, I think we'll wait and see where more story comes in, but we're still got a long ways away. For anything solid.
But curious to see where it goes. And it doesn't look like it's going to connect with anybody else, even. It's just like a standalone adventure.
Yeah, a one-off, right? Get Star Wars back in the theater, get people excited for it. I'm sure there's going to be references. I mean, I think that's what they would shoot themselves in the foot if they don't. It doesn't have to be heavy. It doesn't have to intertwine with like this major story, but it's something that introduces them in the big screen that way. But yeah, I think we're gonna see just where they're going, where they're heading. I don't know if they'll come back to a season 4. I don't know.
Did they show any other planets or just a snow planet and like whatever the building they were in?
That's it. Just the Imperial base inside of it, like whatever where the snowtroopers were, and then that ice planet. Yeah.
And the Razor Crest cockpit. Those are the only.
Yeah. They had like a little recap before it, like how Mando met Grogu, what they were doing, and they showed that last scene from season 3 of like, hey, I'm only going to take jobs that are going to be basically easy or non-threatening for this little guy here, and that was kind of like the narrative going forward with that. So there was that, and then they had a whole Andor sizzle reel, if you will. And it's just hype for that to come up. We don't know when that's coming. I do suspect probably summer of 05. Like right when Celebration is happening. K2SO joining the actual, Andor, which is awesome. And Krennic is there too. Dude, Chris, they're waiting. They're not going to spoil a lightsaber in the trailer. But
but this looks more Star Wars. This looks more Star Warsy already.
Yeah.
I mean,
100%, dude.
It just, I don't know, man. It's the vibe when we see it. That's
I'm thrilled for Andor season 2 coming. Especially because how it's set up. Yeah, and especially how it's set up. Every 3 episodes is going to be like a 1 year time frame and a jump, a 1 year time frame, and then the events leading right up to Rogue One. So yeah, that's cool. Again, we don't know. I know they said 2025. That's it.
Yep.
That was that.
I'm thinking February.
Early, because Skeleton Crew's gonna run into February.
Back to back.
Oh wow.
Really?
I would.
No, I don't know why. I don't think it'll be at summer. I think it'll be earlier than summer.
Well, the only reason I think summer is if they don't have anything else slated. They'll draw it out and then they will throw it at the end of 2025, and then you have 6 months to Mando Grogu. If they do it early, then I say yes, something else is coming in between. So
I could absolutely. I mean, we're used to having a movie, or in the before times, we'd have a December movie or a May movie, and then we'd wait several years. I could see them doing, say, December 3rd or December 4th drop for Andor season 2, and then somewhere during the middle of the year, we'll get Tales of the Jedi Part 2 or something like that, or some sort of animated drop. Because as you said, they drop it, they drop them unexpectedly sometimes. Yeah,
and now that Chris has me thinking about that whole Ahsoka, because again, that's a speculation of Ahsoka 2 being worked on and dropped sooner than later, was that because that is like the main timeline, you know what I mean? That's the main thing. And
if the events of the last season of Mandalorian were leading up to Thrawn,
right?
And we now have Thrawn,
I would think it would be after the movie.
Why would a movie step backwards?
Yes,
not be at this.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, yeah, Ahsoka might be after Mando because of that time, that whole thing. Thinking of, because you'd be sitting there going like, "What are we doing?" It's just what is this? One day, the day after, before? Is this before Ahsoka 2, right? So it would be it'd be kind of hard to move backwards a little bit on that. Joey checking in. Greetings, Starfighters. I love that movie.
Mm-hmm. Seeing it in the theater next weekend.
Yes, it still holds up, maybe a little bit. Not the space battles, but anyway.
Right.
But the major thing, what we're all looking forward to, even what we kind of mentioned last week, if you guys are ready to get into it, was the Skeleton Crew official trailer, and it was officially put out in D23 and then everywhere. StarWars.com, boom, boom, boom. December 3rd is our date, so 4 months away. I love it because it's they're doing it the 2 episode arc. So we know that they're dropping it in weekly segments, and it's not going to be a binge. So expect 20 to 30 minute episodes, probably 8, I think it was. All right, guys, Pitt, this is where I need you. We kind of need to talk a little bit about this, because there is a little bit of a learning curve, I feel, and I'm saying the learning curve as just something that I don't know if you guys are thrilled with it, or something that we have to get in our heads and kind of really pin down what this series is. We have plenty of time to do that, get our head space around it, and you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You guys know what I'm talking about. The suburban settings in the first 30 seconds of the trailer. Now
we're in Pasadena.
I'm just gonna say this. I'm not mad at it. Like, I'm not mad, but I was taken aback, and then I had to regroup myself and say, okay, I know I have to figure out what this show is. It reminded me of like the beginning of Poltergeist, that the intro, that they're going through the neighborhood, but Amblin. They said it's very Amblin. It's very Goonies, and that trailer looked very Goonies to me. Not just because of the sliding and in the skull and all that stuff, but it felt very
literally the music, the look, the suburban town.
It felt very Goonies. But here's the thing: they told us that, and do we sit there and go, it's just a word? Oh shit, we got it right. So what's your guys' thoughts? I'm rambling here. Go ahead,
Chris. Go for it.
It's how I feel about earthly shit.
Yeah,
I hated the word paycheck and acolyte. I hate things that come up and when they have hot chocolate in the books and things like that. I hate it. I'm not thrilled with this. I'll obviously give it a shot. I mean, I zoomed in to look at the roofs because I hate the fact that they're in a suburban neighborhood is one thing. The fact that they have curbs is another. They have lawns. They have the same trees. They have now they have angled roofs, like roofs, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. It's
Pasadena, man. That's what I'm saying. It's like driving through downtown Pasadena, and I'm like,
it bugs me. And what it reminded me of was Guardians when they went to the
that planet,
where he was making freaks, right? And that just takes me to a little Disney Marvel place. And And I love Guardians, don't get me wrong, but that made sense in the story, and they're
Yeah.
earthly, right? I mean, it's not like he wasn't trying
There
to.
was a reason.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Earth. The fact that we're doing that, I don't know, man. I don't like it. But what I would say to that is, let's see the inside of the houses and how everything works. But I mean, then again, then you see the things that might be floating, but it's just a bus. They're on a school bus, the same exact school bus seats that we use. This is future Earth, and that's what bugs me, because that's Star Trek.
Yeah, sci-fi. It's very sci-fi. Like
Star Trek.
It's not a lived-in, used galaxy. I get it.
It's not a galaxy far, far away when you do shit like that.
Yeah,
it's true. That's true.
Scott,
the very first shot is the kid under the blankets, and they look like just regular striped comforter that you would buy at Target or whatever. And I'm like, that's an odd shot. And then she's looking up and you see the mobile above, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then all of a sudden we're outside on bicycles, flying bicycles, and we're seeing people walking animals, and we're seeing like stoplights and Star Warsy stop signs and stuff. And I'm like, I want to know where this wouldn't it really suck if this was Hosnian Prime? I'm trying to think of what planet this could possibly be, because Star Wars has a certain feel to it, right? We all know this. It has a certain aesthetic, a certain feel. Not every planet, of course, there's thousands of planets. Not every planet is going to be the same. It's weird though that they have an Earth, and that's what this is. It feels weird because they have an Earth.
It's definitely.
I get there's infinite stars and infinite planets and infinite everything, right? Nobody's ever visited them all. I get all this, but to have a duplicate of ours is like a multiverse, and that's nonsense.
It's interesting.
Well, let me paint a picture.
Okay? Paint away.
I'm with you guys. Like I really, because again, when you watch like the original trilogy and everything, this is not the norm. This is not what we do. And it's like, we kind of like speculate these things are at schools and public, the school systems and what have you, but it's not the normal Star Wars, right? That's the key word. Is not a abused galaxy that we're so used to now. If and we kind of mentioned this last week too, was like, if this was set in 1980, if this was made in 1986, right, and this was a TV movie or a TV series, right, this is exactly, I feel, what we would get. We would get this suburban setting. We would get this thing going on, and then thrust into the Star Wars galaxy.
I never.
Oh yeah, it would. It'd be an alpha.
No, it's not creative.
It's
enough.
A sitcom.
It's not creative enough, dude.
Look at, but this is just the setting.
And we would be bashing it right now in 2024. We would be talking shit about the thing that came out in 1986. It'd be like the holiday special. We'd be talking about
what I'm saying is,
they did this nonsense with the urban.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, this isn't the show. Okay, this is the setting that thrusts them out of their world into Star Wars world. Okay, now I'm not saying
my bitching about the suburban has nothing to do with the rest of the trailer, because my opinion changes.
No, I know, right? But I just want to make sure that people are not focused, not just you. Because I see it out there. They're not focusing it on like, oh my god, it's a horrible. Look at the dumpster fire that the show is. And I'm like, it's the setting for these kids, and it's their world. All right, and
it could have been more Star Warsy.
Well, I mean, it's where else if the story is they're in
make
a
the grass
neighborhood,
purple, make the roofs round, right? Make the bus have 3 seats instead of 2. Do anything other than Earth shit.
I get it. Like I said, I get it, but at the same time, this is a galaxy with billions of solar systems,
make it look more
billions. You know what I mean? So you're gonna have some.
But saying that just means that it doesn't. It doesn't work. It doesn't. We're saying there's a million planets.
But if this is the show that's supposed to be like in a Star Wars adventure, right? It has. I mean, there are some things going on. There's X-wings. There's the pirates and all that stuff.
I see the good stuff, and that's.
But if this is
the part is this takes you out real quick because it started here.
It might take you out, but this is not the show for that.
100% think you saw it. As soon as you saw it, you didn't think, "Oh shit, I'm in a neighborhood."
Oh no, I wasn't. I was just like, this is what we're doing. Yeah, I was like, oh, this
so
is what we're doing.
Took you out. You didn't just get immersed. You had to think about the damn setting.
Right. But it's not a
earthly.
dumpster fire. It's not.
No,
it's
no,
not.
I'm not saying that either. I'm not saying that at all. I'll give it a shot in those places. It could be completely different. Like I said, then you reminded me that they were inside the house. I'm waiting to see the insides, but we were.
Well, we saw the inside of the school and
nothing
nothing changed.
blanket and the mobile.
The Target or the school looked more Star Warsy. It looked more like something you'd find on Coruscant. So
I mean,
or they typed clones and they were training the clone.
Look, Andor did it. Nothing was like purple and round and stuff. It was very Star Warsy, but it was very futuristic and it was very well, it was very sci-fi. Let's put it that way. This looks like a sci-fi sitcom. Okay, that's what I'm saying. And again, and it's the purpose of it, and this is a family-oriented show and all that stuff, and it serves its purpose. So just let me check in with the pit here. I know, let's see here. Artificial intelligence had a movie had future suburbia. Yeah, again, I think it's more or less like what's to Scott's and Chris's point, and my point too. I noticed it was more of a sci-fi setting than it was a Star Wars setting. And again, but you know, this is not a war-torn Star Wars, right? This is
whenever you're in the Star Wars galaxy and you're you know what? Wasn't part of this show supposed to be the fact that they are not necessarily within our galaxy or within the Star Wars galaxy, but they're outside, or are they thrust into a different part of the galaxy?
I think they're thrust into a different part of the galaxy.
They're
all right, well, that throws that idea out the window.
Like they're in this thing unaffected by Star Wars in general, but they're up to the technology.
They know what a Jedi is.
Right, they do. Yeah, that's right. And what you just said, Mooch, makes absolute sense. It's like they did not get affected by the war, right?
Right.
Are they so far on the outer rim that they
not everybody does, but that's what we always I try to say too. Not everybody hated the Empire. A lot of places flourished under the Empire, right? So it's not like not everybody was post.
Again, I'm gonna get to these comments here.
But the thing about this being in our universe, did you catch the video game that kid was playing?
No.
It was a digital Rancor and looked like Luke Skywalker with a green lightsaber.
Like, I thought that was a video. I thought that was like a animated or something that he was.
I was thinking it was a video game and he was playing some kind of like, hey, because this is post Return of the Jedi. Luke's a legend.
Right. It made sense, right?
So I'm like, oh wow, they kind of use that Legends of Luke Skywalker thinking. And making him bigger than everything, super famous.
Exactly. I saw that. Yeah, I think
that was pretty neat.
Mando Mike checking in. So Dr. Brantley, this is where I was trying to get at. I thought it was a cool way to set up these kids unprepared for the Star Wars universe of scoundrels. Didn't mind the space suburbs at all. They are modern kids. Yeah. Well, this is a setting. It's a setting of where these kids come from. Thrust in, obviously the trailer tells us exactly what we've been speculating. They get thrust into it and they have to find their way home, and it's this Star Wars adventure. And that's where I was looking at, and that's why I was like, I bought it. The second view I bought, I was like, okay, I understand. It's like I understand what they did. I understand. Now this isn't a movie for us to put in our that ultimate timeline where it's like Lars Homestead, it's Tatooine, it's like very familiar parts of Star Wars, right? This is a different type of series, and it's on purpose. This isn't like someone who doesn't know what they're doing. It's like this is all done on purpose to the fact, like, okay, maybe their point was, let's bring it home a little bit for the kid, because it's a kids family oriented show. Let's bring it home so it's a little familiar, but then think about being thrust into Star Wars yourself in the way that you can do it, that Disney will do it, and that's how I'm trying to explain that away. Now, in a perfect world, right? You like, I think from when they enter the ship with the flashlights, then on, that's like perfect Star Wars. Before that was all this other stuff. But again, I'm not looking at this show as and I know you guys aren't either. I know that. I know exactly where you're coming from. Trust me. I'm not saying anything.
Because we didn't need a suburban setting in 1977, 80, 83. We didn't need it then. We don't need the kids. Kids aren't stupid.
Right.
Kids are smarter than we were. They can understand we're in a different galaxy.
Well, we don't want to rehash either.
I think it's a cheap shot. I think it's dumb.
Well, I don't think it's a cheap shot. Yeah.
It's just, it's silly.
Okay.
That's it. Now, again, the rest of the thing,
Yeah.
Perfectly fine. I just be creative. I don't think Lucas would ever have done that. I think Lucas probably kicked a rock when he saw it. He's like, what the hell?
Maybe Dr. Brentley is saying this too. What I was just going to say, the Boba Fett Vespas took me out of the universe more.
It's funny.
But
I
maybe
thought
that's
that too,
going
the kids
too
were on
far.
the bike because they would have fit here. I thought the same thing. Those Vespas would have fit in this town.
But maybe that's them going too far. We're like, this isn't Star Wars because it's not familiar to us. You know what I mean?
It just didn't fit the aesthetic.
Yeah. Genobi saying, I'm all in for it. I can't wait to see it. I keep in mind that it was made for kids. Kids get Star Wars too. Let's go. Yeah,
we were kids in 77, 80, and 83.
Yeah, but we're not following kids
like that.
Yeah.
This is nostalgia. When you draw Goonies, that's not for the kids. That's for us. That's for us. That's nostalgia. Everything they did right there, that whole entry, the whole Amblin entry right there, that whole trailer was for us. That wasn't to get kids hooked. That's to get adults hooked.
Yeah, but like if you look at all those kind of movies, even Stranger Things, Goonies, right? It's their setting and it's going to a complete different world. Like it's a whole adventure. And that's exactly what this trailer set up. It was an adventure for these kids into Star Wars, not Star Wars to Star Wars.
So why are we not just doing it in a Star Wars setting?
Because
I understand what you're saying. It just makes sense. It's
again,
lazy and dumb. But again, this is on par.
I wouldn't throw those words
at the end of Acolyte.
That's what I'm having a problem with. The lazy and dumb thing is I'm having a problem with.
It's on par with the Acolyte song. It's just a
okay.
It is. Yeah. It's too earthly. Why are we?
Well, no, that's a no-no.
No need for it. They're doing that a lot lately, and I told you that's one of the things that bugs me. It's one of the things I'll stick with bugging me the whole time.
Hey man,
it's escapism. I can. That looks like my neighborhood.
Maybe that was the point, though. Maybe that was the point. Like your inner child.
It's not. Don't put the Star Wars logo on it because it's a galaxy far, far away.
Then what are we doing here? Then what are we doing with Star Wars? Right?
No,
it's a Star Wars show.
It doesn't stay in a galaxy that could be your backyard.
No,
it doesn't say that. Never has.
I just have a problem with the lazy and dumb part. I understand if you don't like it. I understand if you're
creative.
I understand if you're taken out of it, but I don't understand the lazy and dumb. So
I took a bus and took the wheels off, like I'm in the Jetsons.
Okay.
Okay, I took a roof and made an extra angle on it, like I'm in Star Trek. I have the same lawn that I have this entire block.
So if the script called for so you're saying purple grass and rounded, and we're done. It's like, come on,
make it not earthly.
Maybe there's more to it.
Yeah, I did say that, but also we saw the target blanket in the mobile. There's not a whole lot more to it.
I don't understand that old of a kid having a mobile anyway. But anyway. Eli Martin checking in. So welcome to checking us out. Hello there, new to the channel. I've hit the last 2 Star Wars celebrations and I feel gypped. Half of what they announced never comes out. Well, that has been a problem. Skeleton Crew was supposed to in 2023 and the Acolyte. Yeah. Well, the first half of your comment was why they maybe playing it safe and closer to the chest now. They're like, look, this is in production. We know these things are happening. So we're going to announce those and then some other things. We're not going to go so far in advance and be like, we had to scrap 3 or 4 of these things. So there is a little, and then everybody complains that they don't
say that they would calm down on kind of like announcing things and keep it.
Iger said that as far as Disney Plus. Yeah. And probably speaking of the Marvel movies. And
I think it was Marvel and Star Wars specifically. He said that. Yeah. Especially Marvel specifically.
Okay, so Mando Mike is saying, I think the name doesn't fit the show. I want a live action Bad Batch. Well, again, I don't know where you've been on this. This is what Skeleton Crew is, the crew of the ship of these kids. They like the Goonies. They call themselves the Goonies. They call themselves the Skeleton Crew. I think,
because they found a skeleton on the ship and they probably named themselves the Skeleton Crew.
Exactly what kids do.
Right.
Yes, Scott.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay.
Let's go back to the Max Rebo character and the voice.
Oh, see, there's one of those things where we were like the checklist in our head. Now, as the only problem I had with this whole thing was that character speaking basic. That's it. That's
super clean basic too.
Like that's the stuff that takes me out. So okay,
agreed.
I did roll that back a few times to see if there was a translator or some kind of thing, like they did with Hammer with the Thorian.
Thorian, yeah.
Everything else. I didn't see anything. Doesn't mean it's not there.
Yeah.
To be fair, we also never saw Max Rebo speak. Yeah. So I mean, they could speak basic. I mean, they could speak whatever language is on that planet. Maybe Max Rebo spoke Huttese, and it's just because he hung out with Jabba.
This is what Chris and I do, though. I mean, we have our creative differences, and then we just kind of move on.
Yeah, I still like him. I don't know, I still love him.
Yeah.
He's just completely wrong, and I think he's just trying to be a nice guy on this topic.
No, what I'm trying to do.
Heart, he knows that it shouldn't be in Southern California.
If I had my choice, like if I had personal choice, absolutely, I would not do it. That's not my thing.
Okay, hold on.
I understand.
We've given this show shit.
I know.
Being in our backyard, looking at the bushes and the shrubbery. And we're not
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right.
Yeah,
we're not going to give it shit for being in my literal garage. They opened a garage door like we do.
Yeah. No, it was
not
a
even
deliberate,
remote, dude.
but I think it's deliberate.
It was on rollers.
Yeah.
We're in Star Wars. Get out of here.
The purple stuff, the purple grass is a strong stuff. Let's see what Alexander Storms Star Wars can grow from our idea, from what we think of it. So at one point, Star Wars needs to appeal to a brand new and younger audience. And again, that's why I say it's deliberate and on purpose. It was that setting was to make people feel like you are being thrust into a Star Wars adventure.
Again, I get it.
Look,
we didn't
guys,
need it in the 70s. We didn't need it in the 90s and 2000s.
We've never seen it. We've never seen it in Star Wars before, right? It's something new for Star. It might be something old for us, but it's something new for Star Wars. So,
right.
I mean, it's different. It's jarring, definitely jarring, but let's see how it goes. Let's see how it plays out. It's.
Well,
so let's go through the rest of it though, because the rest of it's cool.
Well, no, I mean, I can say
off of the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, the first 30 seconds is going to be the thing that drops it down, because when you do shit like that, I swear to God, I told you this before. They all go in a room. Okay, pick one thing that's going to drive everybody effing nuts, and let's do it. Let's put it in downtown. Pasadena.
We can't get out of the first 30 seconds,
right? Well, so I'm explaining to you because you said why. And that's why, because they always pick one thing that's going to drive everybody nuts and get everybody talking about it. That's the one thing. The video game, I'm going to talk about that for 10 seconds. We're done with the video game. It was cool, right? We're talking about this and that. That's what's going to cause the talk, good or bad.
Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's like, I knew that I think that what I was more upset with was as soon as I saw it, I knew it was going to cause a rift in anything. Here we go. And again, and what we were kind of talking last week, again, this is why I'm kind of like, it doesn't bug me as much as it should, because I'm trying not to let this series do that.
No, and the rest of it's going to be, like I said, moving on right now, right to the
sure. I mean,
whatever they're doing.
Yeah, so the trailer did give us what we expected, right? Again, thrust into a Star Wars feel, and it had, like I said, a very Goonies vibe, a very everything, and the whole part about the skeleton crew, this is an abandoned ship that autopiloted into this other world, and what we saw with the effects, as far as the bigger worlds, I think the show brings it from what we saw so far. We're on several different locations, and unless it's the same one, but there's some space stations. They got industrial things going on. I thought that was like, okay, the world is bigger it's bigger. And I think, and again, going back, it's like, I think that was on purpose because the two contrasts, and then of course, we knew that Jude Law was going to be a Force user, Jedi or whatever it is, and he's going to help them get back. And I'm curious to see what he knows in this whole bigger thing, because we did see some X-Wings, right? So we know that stuff is in the world of conflict. Either if they're policing, if they're policing, or if there's a conflict there that the kids are witnessing this whole time. I think that's pretty cool. We did also we got some familiar Star Wars aliens, right? Mm-hmm. Which is great, because again, that's where, like Chris said, in 1977, we're seeing every alien from that era into the series, which helps, world build Star Wars in general. Because I feel like if a kid sees the skeleton crew and they go back to see New Hope, they'll be like, this is all like a familiar thing to me, right? Versus a Clone Wars, someone who grew up in Clone Wars and then goes into the world of Luke Skywalker, they're like, it's two different worlds, two different Star Wars, right? So I was like hopeful of that. It's like, all right, this is all, greatly familiar. And I do want to see new ones, but also the pirates too. We know from the toy releases that I think, what was his name? Vane. I think he is is the big bad in this.
Yep.
So,
We saw some costumes. I think we posted them last week. Didn't we post them last week in the show?
sorry. What's that? Oh, yes.
Yeah, and we had a reuse or I forget what the name of the species of reuse was, with one missing eye stalk, so it had like a patch over its eye.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, we saw some really cool designs. I'll see if I can find that image again. So
Okay. Yeah, Genobi says, let's not diminish it yet. Jude Law, anything. Hope he is shirtless. Wait, I just said it's for children. For your sake, I hope there's a
Goonies had Brent, right? What was his?
Brandon.
Thanos.
Yeah, Brandon. There we go. Yeah, Thanos. So.
Yeah, that's how that was it. The figure was the Wolfman pirate dude, the Lax Sivrak pirate or alien kind of dude. Yeah, Space Pasadena. Yeah, chat.
Space Pasadena.
I think like I said, that's the stuff I've been hearing around the campfire,
Right.
But I do see a lot of people saying like, yeah, I'm down for it. Let's go. Let's do this. And again, you put your own kind of headspace into this show. I think we'll get a good, cool little nostalgic Star Wars trip out of it.
I do think it did. Now take the other stuff away. Now I did get a good Amblin vibe. I did get the feel that this was going to be fun. Yeah, I did get that adventure kind of thing. I hope it's okay on a weekly basis. I kind of feel like this one probably, a lot of them should be, but this one might take some shit for a couple of weeks.
It will, because it's not geared toward, like I said, it will.
Do you just think adults just can't have fun? Because I'm pretty sure it's going to be fun.
So.
Yes, yes, I honestly do. I think the first episode. I think at the first episode they get on that ship and they get out. By the second episode, if they're in space and we're seeing Star Warsy stuff, people will calm the fuck down. If they don't, then it's gonna be.
I think that's
we're gonna see again. That's why they do the 2 episodes, is because the first one is never proper. The second one's always the one that goes better. And
you'll
again,
get
listen to us. We gave them that advice years ago.
You'll get the kids' lives the first episode, and then that second one, when the door opens, they get in the ship. It takes off. Episode 2 will kick it right back into right in adventure, and then we go to this thing going back.
I hope.
Yeah, I mean that's why I think it's important to lay the groundwork and then go for it, right? So,
what episode does Hondo show up?
Dude,
I don't think Hondo will ever show up.
Okay, but here's my prediction on that. Here's my prediction on that. The end of episode 1 ends when the kids are thrust into space, right? But right before that, a hologram of Hondo will pop up and kind of like talking to the crew of that ship, and they're like, "What?" And then it triggers the robot, and it triggers it to go off.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That would be awesome. But here's the thing too, like D23 would have been a great just a glance of it would have been amazing, right? So.
No, I think leaving a middle space there for him is most.
Yeah, I do too, man.
So not only do we have Vane, we also have the droid right there that who looks creepy as hell. That's a creepy.
He's like a creepy K2, huh?
Yeah,
it's a really cool looking droid. We've got the
leg.
Yeah. They really went out.
Yeah, you've got a chest of gold right there. So
dude.
I mean, there's some interesting stuff going on here.
These are legit pirates, dude. Look at the Ree's like outfit, like the collar.
When is the Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland going to have a Star Wars day? And they're going
in May. every May.
It's all about marketing, right? It's all marketing.
That's
right. Yeah, Joey, about Hondo would be awesome, but not happening. I would think that we would have saw something.
No, he's the surprise, man.
I wish, dude. Like,
everybody's been patient. It was coming.
Every series we go, this is where Hondo shows up. This is where Hondo shows up.
But I've held on to this one above them all for a while. Ever since they announced it, it's perfect. We knew there were pirates involved.
Yeah.
Well, I thought once Vane showed up that time with What's His Nuts, there was a good chance for him too. But we've got a lot of pirate stuff going on. He's got to show up with those guys.
Yeah, like how Runner Bray said, usually the footage from these teasers and trailers are from the first couple episodes. So I'll hold out for a hope Hondo. Yeah, I'm hoping like what we saw was the first 2 episodes. Or first 3. Like Jude Law is going to be introduced at the end of the episode 2, and then and then we have stuff to talk about and all that. I think we're just not used to having a variety of shows. Like like we were talking about of the toys, and I'm just going to kind of make a comparison for this. Like Scott and I were kind of arguing or not arguing, but like discussing the level of toys, meaning there's the collector toys all the way from the kiddie 5 points articulation toys. And I always said, like, I think there's room for it all. Like I am in that boat of there's room. Star Wars is room for it all. I do remember a lot of Star Wars growing up that wasn't really in that era of badassness of episodes 4, 5, and 6. You
mean like the Ewok Adventure and the Holiday Special?
I mean, there are things there. We had the Droids cartoon, the Ewoks cartoon, that they don't hold up, but we do remember them. But they were for a variety of fandom, and I do believe that this Disney Plus show is for a different variety of fandom. That there's room for it, right? I think there's going to be, like I said, the elements of danger. There's going to be that speaking to the inner kid, and for generation that's growing up with Star Wars. Now, you're right, Chris. This is a Disney era of Star Wars. They're not going to do it like how we grew up, where it was like, because when we grew up, people were smoking indoors. You know what I mean? It wasn't a sense of like shelterness when we grew up. So there wasn't really a need to baby step things into it. When we saw a war movie, it was like, oh crap, that was PG-13. You know what I mean? So I think that the times that we live in today, it's that every movie out there is baby stepping to those kind of adventures that we grew up with. And this show is probably.
But I think it's on a nostalgia kick for us because we like the Stranger Things. We like all this stuff.
But Disney's given us Mando for that. They're giving us those, right? Like I think, like, yes, we will enjoy this, but I think they're like, in their mindset, they're probably like, look, we got this timeline that they're going to go nuts over. They're going to have the cameos and the storyline that's moving forward. We're going to interconnect this, but also we're going to have an element like a young reader's novel.
I think I like those things too. I like the young adult.
We all do. Yeah.
I don't have to have it super adult. I like the fun shit. Yeah. I read that, like I said, the Hondo Little Kids book, I think, is one of the better books. I love it. I can handle it. It's just,
I get it. Yeah.
It's interesting though, because you said something right there that kind of it's an interesting take. We have the Stranger Things. We have these nostalgic shows that make us feel like we're kids again, right? That's exactly what they're doing here. They're putting they're putting our nostalgia for our childhood in this show.
Mm-hmm.
So we were the ones that were out gallivanting in the wilderness, finding shit and getting in trouble, and they are playing to that nostalgia trip, but in a very earthly way in Star Wars, which is a very odd combination.
Aesthetic choices might be questionable.
But that was the point before. It's aimed at us, so we don't need Earth. I don't think they're baby stepping the new generation into that.
Well, that's where I kind of disagree with that aimed for us thing. Like, I think when it's all said and done, I think we will enjoy it, and we will make those connections. We were like, hey, that was like a Star Wars Goonies, right? There was this and that. But I do believe like 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds, if they watch it, they're going to be like, that was awesome, because now I feel like I could play with these toys, and imagination goes wild, exactly how we played with toys. And we're always about recapturing that. And maybe we're just kind of connected in a way where they making these earthly connections. We shy away from that, but maybe they won't, and I know that it's like, that's not what we needed. So, but it's a whole different world, right? Like we did, because that's why I made that point. It's like, everything in the 80s, it was never baby stepped for us. You know what I mean? Even life wasn't baby stepped, The guy rolls up in a van, he goes to candy, you took the candy. I did.
Okay.
So where do we think here? So they're going to an ancient Jedi temple. They're on their. Do you think a ship took them there? Is that what we're thinking? It starts on a ship, takes us to this planet, then they find a Jedi.
No, I don't know if it was. You think it's an ancient Jedi temple, or they just caught up in the fire?
That's what the kids said in the trailer. They think it's a lost Jedi temple.
Kids. It's an entrance to the ship. It's
just I think with the
ship. They find an entrance to the ship, and that's all that is. They don't know what they think it is. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
It was.
It looks like fun. Overall, it just looks like a fun show. Yeah. Right, Star Wars Suburbia or not, it just looks like it's entertaining, and I'm ready to be entertained and not hopefully not pissed off at the crowd reaction.
Well,
right?
I think that's where my reaction is coming from, as far as like, look, I'm going to like this. I'm forcing myself to like it because it's like, it's exhausting sometimes, like to, go on and be like, oh God, I know. And I know if they're sitting around a table going like, you want to see the internet react? Check
That's
this out.
how I'm jaded. That's why I'm jaded.
There are certain things that I see they put in they're deliberately for that. The pop song, that there's certain things, but
yeah,
I don't know, man. I kind of like walked out of this D23. It was like their versions of whatever and what they were showing. I felt like there was some renewed excitement for it, even with the trailer. And I did see a lot of people saying exactly that, but then they're going to wait and see, or they're going to have fun with it. And they understand what the rest
of it looks great. The rest of it looks like a blast. It really does. It just again, it takes you out. It's the first. I think they did it on purpose to get it out the way, to get us talking about it, and then put in some really cool looking shit to get us to go, okay, let's give it a shot. It's kind of smart, kind of crazy. Whatever.
Yeah. Rhino Hobbies. I accepted George Lucas. Star Wars was over a long time ago. I'm just happy Star Wars is still on. Yeah. I mean,
fair.
We've had that.
But fair.
Yeah.
And honestly, George Lucas's last 3 movies did exactly the same thing. We had people bitching about it for years. I mean, everybody likes to think about I'm getting pissed because I came into this with like a really positive attitude. I enjoyed the trailer.
Yeah.
I enjoyed everything they threw out this weekend. But
I'm cool. I'm not mad. I'm good.
George Lucas's last 3 movies threw everybody into a fucking tizzy. And it was, everybody's like, don't let George stop making movies, George. You suck. This sucks.
Yeah, there was people have short-term memories. Yeah.
Yeah. And now all of a sudden, George Lucas is the new Messiah. Oh,
yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Give him back.
Give me a break. Come on.
Mando, I'm not filtering out your comments. I just don't care about your comments about being shirtless.
Yeah. Mando Mike, you're being dumb. Stop it.
Yeah, so no, I'm not negative or disappointed at all. And again, I'm
excited for the show. I can't wait till December.
Yeah, I think it's great. And again, I do I think for the most part, a lot of people understand the whole the prequels and all that stuff. As far as the aesthetics, it was like a little too much green screen, and it just didn't for me. It does now. It's so funny that now it does, like 20 years later, to it's Star Wars. It feels Star Wars, but it did not at the time, right? It just didn't.
All.
But now that, exactly. Now that it was there and setting in. So,
one did like 19 times in the theater, and 3 did always. Attack of the Clones was the iffy one, right? Because you didn't quite know what was going on because it looked funny. But this, how I feel about it now.
It's just that, like you mentioned, 1977, right? You're seeing the Lars Homestead, you're seeing Tatooine, you're seeing these dirty electronic parts and these ships that barely run, but they run, and this used, worn out universe, right? But then you have the sleek Empire, and you have these two worlds clashing, colliding, right?
The 70s versus the 50s.
Yeah, but it was a deliberate aesthetic.
Chrome and
and so when that changes on any level, and I'm not talking about the Earth style, I'm talking about it changes on any level, sequels, prequels, whatever it is, then it becomes in our head like, that's not Star Wars, right? We want Star Wars, and so then it has to marinate, and then we have to go, look, the galaxy's bigger than 3 planets, and then we have to go, okay, each planet is different. If you have 1 billion planets, one of them is going to be Earth, and maybe we're just seeing that. Just like Joshua Trees do exist in Star Wars.
Because there's another almost billion planets minus 1 that I could see.
Sure.
I mean, we had planets like Mustafar, which was all volcanic, right?
Yeah.
We had, this planet, this is the first planet we might have multiple biomes in, right? I mean, we've got suburbia. We also have the woods. I mean, far beyond desert on this planet. It's just something we haven't seen before.
I always thought too.
I bet it has a bunch on different continents. Bet you.
Maybe it's mostly ocean.
Yeah, I bet you 70% of it's covered in water. I bet.
Yeah.
But I guess the danger of this being the narrative when the show hits, and that's the only thing people are going to see. right? I'm hoping that they look at what it is, and I don't know. You know what? At the same time, who cares anymore, right? Like,
watch, it's going to be the shot in the arm that Star Wars has needed for the last couple of years, right? That's going to get everybody going, oh, wow, this was actually really great.
I hope so. Like I said, I just see it as a thing where it was a decision. Somebody signed off on it, and multiple people said yes, and they're all like, it's going to piss people off. They're like, yeah.
This is also
who are the makers of this? It's the guy who did the Spider-Man movies, right? It's
John Watts.
John Watts, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed the shit out of all three of those Spider-Man movies. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. You know what?
So
maybe this is going to be cool.
And so am I. Again, this feels really negative, and it really isn't. It's that
it really does.
I know it really isn't though, because it's just going to be 10 minutes of the first episode, and the other 8 episodes are going to be fine.
No,
it's just a choice again. That's all.
But this is good because we get it out now, right?
Right.
Like when they pop a can of something or open a bottle of almost Coke, just in like the Disneyland version, the Batu version. I'm like, what are we doing?
You know what? That would be awesome though, because then they would have those little ball soda cans. I'd be totally down with that because Batu is in Galaxy. It is in world. So why wouldn't Coca-Cola and Sprite and Dasani be in whatever the fuck planet this is?
Well, I know, like I said, like I'm not naive at that. Like I know, okay, what that is, and I my first go through of the thing, I was just like, what? And then I was like, okay, I just put it out, and then I just but it's not like I accepted, wholeheartedly accepted, but I understand. It's like, well, I can't do anything about it now, so
that's where I got to get to.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Just roll with it.
Cautious optimism, right?
Yeah, let's just roll.
Yeah,
but again, it looks fun.
And I will say this too, and with the Acolyte and the Skeleton Crew unless they do Rogue Squadron movie, which I don't think they're going to do, and I don't think Lando is going to ever see the light of day. I think Skeleton Crew is the final property or the final project from that original team, original slate, original everything. So
you said Lando and what?
I've got that slate right here.
Hang on. Rogue Squadron movie.
Droid Story.
Droid Story, yeah. Besides, like I said, I don't think Droid Story, Lando, or Rogue Squadron movie is going to see the light of day. Or Rangers, yeah. I don't think those 4 are seeing the light of day at all. With the Acolyte and Skeleton Crew, I don't know why Skeleton Crew's not on it, because I think it was the same.
Must not have been.
Maybe it was the one after.
It might have been the one right after.
I've never seen Skeleton Crew on the slate like this.
I mean, this is.
We don't talk about Willow Halbrunner. Yeah, but this is like, if you believe the whole thing that was going on with Lucasfilm and the internal writing teams, this is why they promoted Dave Filoni to the ultimate head of the writing team, and they kind of like regrouped and redirected. That's why, in our opinion, and I'm going to speak for us, we all love Ahsoka, and I think that was a great direction to go to. I think Mando season 2, for the most part, season 3 went in a great direction. But that was the cutoff for a brand new era of Star Wars, and Skeleton Crew is that last project to be doing that. So maybe the direction they were having was like, we're bringing it straight to your living room. I mean, what you see in your living room is Star Wars, and that kind of stuff. But maybe I don't know. I'm trying to not put so much of that punch into a title, which I never wanted to do in the first place. I never thought a Star Wars title should ever come out and we just have to accept it. Like, we just have to, and then let it go. Everything should have been punched in the face from day one. Like, boom, 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 right? Because all we had was 6 movies for a long time. Each one punched you in the face. And so it was like, in our world, like Chris said, like Star Trek has all this wimpy shit all in between, more wimpy stuff. So like there's no room for that in Star Wars. Does that make sense? No? Okay. Okay.
Sorry,
I thought you were talking to Chris. I was
in general. Okay.
I thought you were in journaling, and
I was like, I was saying there's no room
I zoned for a quick second.
I was just saying there's no room for Star Wars for just meh stories. I get that. Just do it for the sake of doing it.
But we've been doing that, and that's the problem. I just
that was the whole premise behind the sequels. It was just meh stories. It was not a solid vision. It was like, and here we go harping on the sequels again. It feel like an event, like you were saying, right? It has to feel like an event, not just
Yeah, and I think we'll get it. Like I said, we're gonna get a fun. It's not. This is a side quest. This is.
Let's go talking about the AT-ATs again in the Mandalorian and Grogu. That was a fun talk.
So,
I like AT-ATs.
Yes. Oh look, AT-ATs, snowtroopers.
Look, we're on
ATRT.
We're gonna go battle by battle with
going
Grogu and Mando. We're going on a mission. We got to stop by Hoth, and then we're gonna go to Endor.
You goddamn well know we never go back to any planet unless it's Tatooine. You know this. Or Coruscant.
They'll be in the Hoth system.
Or Coruscant. That's it.
It'll be in the Hoth system, and then the other, like the sixth moon of the Endor system.
Instead of Endor or Kefir or Endor.
Whatever,
yeah. I don't know.
You're right. Dude, like I said, ever since Disney, they have to make Disney planets. They can't use, unless it's Tatooine, they can't use, or Coruscant, I guess.
Yeah.
Before I say anything else.
Or Mustafar. We've been to Mustafar.
Okay, 3 planets. Oh, no.
Want to make that,
we blew up Camino, so that doesn't count.
Yeah. But if you want to make that argument, they turned Navarro into Tatooine, and they made it their own.
And Jakku.
Jakku, yeah. What was the point in Jakku? God. Anyway.
Mando Mike saying, okay, how about this? After all these new shows that they put out, let's go back to the bounty hunters. Let's bring back Boss Dengar, IG-88, and do a bounty hunter show. Give us something old school. They tried to with Book of Fett
for years.
Yeah, they tried to with Book of Fett, and it still possibly can with a different Book of Fett 2 or Book of Shan, whatever it is. They can do it in the Mandoverse.
Yeah, the Mandalorian. He's a bounty hunter. He could absolutely go up against Dengar. How cool would that be? Dengar versus Din Djarin?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't left that. That's the whole thing. Like, it'd be nice to go back to that bounty hunter. Well, we haven't left it. It's just we're gonna have to wait till 2026. You know.
Yeah. Let's see. Boss will be fine, just old, right?
Let's see Boss go up against Chrysanthemum. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
God, that'd be a grudge match. Old. That'd be incredible. What?
Boss could be old, like Cad Bane old.
Yeah,
they were both in Clone Wars era, like taking care of Boba.
Yeah, but you know what? Kiara Mundi at one point was only 60 years old, so who cares?
But Trandoshans lived like 1,200 years, and
not anymore.
Not anymore. Felipe saying, did they explain why they changed the name? On what did they change?
I don't know what you mean.
I need more context there.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else. I lost my train of thought on that. Oh, the Captain EO references. Okay, so they did promise the deep cuts with the skeleton crew, right? And we're getting some Captain EO references, and I can't wait to see what else they're doing. You know, I wonder. That'd be cool if in the background you did see like a Michael Jackson, cameo walking by,
or like they did in Rogue One with General Syndulla. You please report to Captain EO. Please report to.
Or they have that song playing in the background. Now, would you accept the Captain EO song as a pop song?
No Michael Jackson in Star Wars ever.
So Felipe saying the Mandalorian Grogu show. I think it was
always the Mandalorian and Grogu. Yeah, that's just a movie. The movie's called that, not a show, not a series.
Yeah, this is like a
one-off
spin-off from the series. We don't know if they're going to go back to that's the thing in question. We don't know if they're going back to a series.
To the Mandalorian season 4.
Right. I heard that they were. I heard that is still in the plans, but I mean,
I don't think they scrapped it. It's just that I think that's their way of trying to get Star Wars back to the big screen. Okay, let's use these 2 characters, get them over there, boo and stuff. It's a big thing.
It's a brilliant idea. It really is. Why not take your most popular Star Wars characters right now and put them back in the movies? I mean,
I'm sure there's something to do with their film division, right, where they have to make some certain amount of money, and they know that's a gold mine.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anything you can slap Grogu's face on, you're gonna make millions on. So do it.
And from what we saw on those that trailer, that leak reel, whatever, I was there for it. I was like, I know we get to this Grogu fatigue. I was like, he's back.
It's funny because Grogu fatigue only happens in off seasons, right? You've got a season of The Mandalorian and you're hooked. But you get that off season, you're like, oh god, this kid again.
Because all the merchandise comes out after. You don't have them weekly, and then you're dealing with 57 different pop variants.
Oh, just you wait, buddy. You're gonna get a Grogu head on top of a mouse droid with a couple of aliens right there with them. You're gonna
the thing is, he's Star Wars now, right? That's the change we've gone through. It's not Vader anymore. It's not Vader on everything. It's not Luke on everything. It's Grogu.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it. I am.
Yeah, I think so. Every series, every movie, whatever, we always want something that carries the torch over, right? Like, it used to be in our days, it used to be like troopers and vehicles and stuff. Like, what's the new shiny, and it makes sense that, but it's a baby Yoda. I mean, it's fantastic.
Look at that face.
Yeah, like I said, as soon as I saw him back, I'm like, I'm in. Let's do this. Let's do this.
How could you not love that?
Well, many ways, but haven't figured it out. Keep it there
yet. It forces people to pick and choose anymore. But yeah, Joey, CGI Captain EO, why not?
No,
why not? I'm down.
Nope.
Just in the background, not as a character. I don't want to talk.
Oh my god, no. Okay, tell you what I would like is
his ship would be cool.
An ET cameo in Skeleton Crew.
Yeah.
So just wanted to get that real quick.
I am down for that. Yeah.
We can come back around now, back to here.
Yeah, but then you have them possibly naming species, and you've got it can get a little, I don't know. That makes it almost more earthly than having Space Pasadena, right? Because we know that character has been on Earth, right? And there has been no trips to Earth in Star Wars yet, but you put an ET and you give them the species name, and I know they were in the Phantom Menace just in the distance, but
I was gonna say they were already they're there.
That's still just
just put them in the trailer. There's this shot of the marketplace, and it showed the Jawas there, right? And then had all these things. Just have them walking by. That's all. That's all I'm asking.
I can work myself into ET getting to Earth because their ships are different than everybody else's, and they found some wormhole, got over here, blah 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 blah. He's ancient. They skipped over time from a long time ago into it now. I can work with ET somehow, some way.
See, even that. I mean, you know me. I'm not a prequel. I'm not a prequel lover like you guys are. But to me, seeing ET was like, oh, that's cute. But then it's like, wait a minute. Now I have to headcanon ET into Star Wars.
Yeah, totally.
That bugged the crap out of me. As way back 25 years ago.
Well, ET could be intergalactic travelers, or not intergalactic. No, galactic.
Like the aliens in Indiana Jones, they're more interdimensional beings than they are intergalactic beings.
Exactly.
God.
Exactly.
It's like the not the last Flight of the Navigator, right? He comes back and it's been 20 years.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's been longer. He's been gone for 10,000 years.
We had that reference last week. We did. I think we talked about the Flight of the Navigator.
Yeah. Flight of the Navigator. Yeah. Alexander, look, the real question is, did anyone get that D23 Star Speeder?
Look, tune in on Monday. I don't want to talk about that.
Tune in on Monday for the toy chest, because we will be breaking the collecting world down. And
I wanted the Kylo helmet. I was mad I couldn't get that. It's sold out too, and I was just slow on it.
You can get Ochi of Bastoon's dagger though, so you go get that dagger, buddy.
No, I'm just mad because I was gonna remember. I told you I was gonna get the Stranger's helmet, but I wanted to make sure I can get Kylo first. I can't get the old Kylo. This is the Kylo I really like, is the reforged. I'm like, oh cool, but I just dilly dallied around thinking, who's gonna sell out of a Kylo Ren helmet? Damn!
Even lights up too. The red on it actually lights up. That's
still
freaking cool.
Shinobi saying, "Wait, what? Look, we can't speak anymore with such distaste for the prequels." Yes, Scott.
Sorry, my bad.
Can't have Attack of the Clones as your number 9th film. I just think you just can't. It just can't happen.
Yeah, I got sequels like number 3 and 5 are prequels, not sequels. Thanks. Sorry.
Yeah, Genobi, maybe the Star Speeder will be released again, but probably without the LCD.
We'll talk about it on Monday because
Yeah.
I've got a whole speech I've come up with for it. So I'm gonna get on my soapbox like I did here today.
Cool. Well, let's wrap it up. Unless you guys got anything else that you want to add to what happened with all the releases. Again,
I didn't really watch a lot of it. I was busy, but
there wasn't
seemed
like
there was not a whole lot.
It was only like half an hour of Star Wars in D23, and
Right.
the major, and again, it was a world release of the trailer, so it wasn't really an announcement. It was like, here it is. But at the show itself, the Andor sizzle reel, the Mandalorian first looks or whatever. I think Dave Filoni took the stage for a second there. There wasn't really a lot of like future planning other than what's already in production again. So again, how 2025 is shaping up is our consumption, how that year is going to end on consumption, and where it's going to go from there. The big theme was returning to the theater. So I think that's their their forward momentum with Star Wars is going to be silver screen. And I'm there for it. I like the movies, I like going to the movies there. And hey, look, man, I think I might like that. In closing, if I go to the theater and we have this great time with Star Wars, and we can have years and years and years of talking like that, and Disney Plus is a maybe not so important as far as like that lore, whatever, I guess the canon. Maybe that's a direction that people can get behind, right? So they can make the stories that they want to tell, but the grand scheme of it is in the theatrical 2 hour timeline. There's got to be a medium where we collectively agree as a fan base too, where we kind of consume it rather than bombing everything that comes out before because an actor said something. Yeah,
right. I guarantee you, whatever we see on the screen for Mandalorian and Grogu is going to be better than what we got with the sequels as a whole.
Oh
yeah.
Oh yeah,
guaranteed. So. Yeah. I'm excited about it. D23 excited me. We also had the Tron Ares trailer drop, or not trailer, but the sizzle reel behind it.
Yeah,
that looks insane. So I'm excited. I'm not a Disney hater. I really do enjoy a lot of what they put out. So Alien Romulus this weekend. That looks exciting.
I'm going Friday, Gordon.
Are you?
Yeah, and then
I didn't get that invite.
No, I was invited.
It's it
by a whole nother group of friends and a whole nother podcast that I run. It's Star Trek one. It's an undercut.
Whatever.
I went to hit it and took my screen down first. I'm like, oh shit. So I had to leave.
Felipe, yes. Are you guys going to the Toy Migos Frankenstein's meetup at the end of August? I believe it is.
I will be there.
Yes. Yeah, we are going, and we're gonna talk to Chris about it and see if he was going to go too. Maybe the three of us, Joey, 4. I know Ernie's going to be there, but yeah, if
I imagine it's the 24th, 25th.
Yeah. So yes, we are planning on going
31st.
and hang out and go to Korean barbecue and eat. And that'd be awesome. Buy nothing at Frankenstein's because it's too expensive.
Yeah.
But anybody in the SoCal area or just wants to travel, look up Frankenstein's and follow Toy Migos to find out all the details on that meetup. And it's like their 5th time or something like that. So
yeah, Saturday, August 31st, Frankenstein's.
That's nice weekend. Rhino Hobbies. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Awesome, man.
Look
forward to meeting you.
Yeah, Felipe, definitely. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
I've never been to the meetup. I've been to Frankenstein's hundreds of times, but I've never been to the meetup. So
yeah, we'll definitely
we're just planning the pop store. I mean, half the shit there is Funko Pop.
The no haggle, ultra expensive. It's just cool to look at show.
Dude, last time I was there, I saw this really cool T-shirt, and the T-shirt was Endor Stout. It was a beer, it was a stout, and it had like Endor speeder bikes and biker scouts on it. I'm like, that's what I want right there. I want that shirt. I went up and I said, I want that in an XL, please. They said, that's the one we're sold out of. I'm like, fuck this place. I'm never coming back to Frankenstein's again. So
I want to commend you on your sentence structure in the beginning. That how it was Endor Stout. It was a stout, and it was from Endor. I just really like that explanation. I wanted to thank you for the description.
Yes, that was I'm a graphic designer. I have to give you the visuals.
It was awesome.
That's funny. No one watches. Already checking in just in time for us to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right, guys. Well, of course, the conversation does not end here. Leave a comment into this, this comment section to get more thought on the Skeleton Crew and everything D23 presented. We will do this again next Wednesday, all over again. I'm sure we'll have maybe a little bit more to talk about. Maybe we do some other plans. Maybe we spin the wheel. Who knows? The only way to know is to hit that bell notification, subscribe if you haven't, and put a like. The best support you can give us is putting a like on this video, even though you might not have liked it, but still put a like.
I didn't. I put a thumbs down.
Yeah.
Still helps the algorithm. Bring it.
Yeah, it still helps. It still helps. But yeah, guys, thank you. Tune in on Monday, of course, for our Toy Chest show. We break down all Star Wars collectibles. We have a lot to say on that one, so that's going to be a good. It's going to be a good talk. Maybe some more arguing. We'll see.
It wasn't really arguing. It was just stating two differing opinions. One of us was completely right.
Thank you for that. I take pride in being right all the time.
And the third of us was just watching you guys go at it, sitting here drinking his beer because he was bored off his mind. Yes.
Well, thank you for that too, Scott. Thank you for that support. Yeah. Bored off his mind. That's the great tag.
Let's use that one as the little clip we send out. Let's do that.
I like to be a part of the conversation, and I was excluded. That sucked. But Tashi Station Emporium.
Yes.
For all your stand needs, Tashi Station Emporium, right there. Check it out, Wolverine. This son of a bitch falls over anytime I put him on any other stand. But if I use a Tashi Station Emporium stand, you can't see it. But he just stood right up.
With all the earthquakes we've been having, I think we're up to I think 5.7 was the max so far. So I'm not trying to test it.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to test it
now. Yeah,
nothing fell over, so I was pretty happy. Except Bazooka. For some reason, Bazooka doesn't want to stay upright. But
Genobi, you're not wrong. Grumpy old man, part 2.
Seriously.
Oh, but it's we're passionate about the universe that we love. So
yeah, the universe far, far away, completely separated from ours.
I mean,
I dig it.
The kids have to go to school, or they have to get there.
Hey, I liked the acolyte.
Hot
take.
I just didn't like the.
Whoa.
I didn't like the pop song. That's it.
I didn't like that
pop song.
That's a no-no.
But see, there's always going to be something about it you don't like. If my problem is the urban setting, cool.
Yeah.
Right? If that's the problem with the show, groovy.
Yeah. Just to reiterate, again, I know we'll talk about it, but I didn't like it either. But I don't know what to do about it. You know what I mean?
We have a podcast. We sit here and bitch about it for an hour and 20 minutes. That's what we do about it. Come on.
Yeah,
we'll
I just
until December 3rd every once in a while and just throw out there about Space Adina.
Genobi says, "Come on, friends, Ventress Funk is coming." I think you got one, did you?
I didn't. I did see that proto was out, but I believe Genobi, wasn't that an old picture? Like, hasn't that been like before the latest Rex? So I don't know. I hope so. So. I shared that to the group in our chat too.
Has there never been a Ventress pop?
No,
really?
No, just that proto.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Ventress with hair is my new crack. Yeah, she's
Ventress either way, but yeah.
All right. Well, cool deal. I think we're done here, guys. I
hope it is too, Julie. I hope it is too.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, everybody in the pit. I will see you on Monday for the Toy Chest show. And then, of course, on Wednesday, we do this all over again. With that, Scott.
Keep it nerdy, everybody.
Unless you're too bored and just
play with your toys.
I mean, yeah.
This is Grand Admiral Thrawn. You are listening to the Sarlacc Digest. What a fascinating play on words.